Hey, everybody, welcome back for day 87 of 100 Days of Halloween. I hope you are well and happy Friday. It's the weekend, and I hope you guys have some awesomely fun plans and all that for celebrating the weekend. So, 100 Days of Halloween, what are we doing? So, my lovely yarny friend and sister Ranee over at the Woolly Llama Shop was discussing with several of us on a live that she had a brilliant idea for a project for the 100 Days of Halloween that was quickly approaching. And her brilliant idea was to do a blanket for the fall and Halloween season. And for the 100 Days of Halloween, she wanted to do one block a day for every day in either a fall or Halloween theme, whether it had a motif, an applique or colorway, etc. And I thought it was a brilliant idea. And I had been wanting to make a Halloween blanket for a while. Just lifey stuff was always in the way. Couldn't do it. So I was like, this is my chance. I'm going to join in solidarity. Let's do this. And so I did. We did. And we had two other Yarny friends and sisters join in that couldn't commit to a full on blanket because they had a lot of other projects and lifey stuff going on, and they decided they were going to do other things. Um, so we'll get to that in a minute. So Rainey's idea for these 100 blocks for 100 days was she scoured the interwebs. She found all these different fall and Halloween themed squares and appliques and compiled this big long list in her computer. And she decided to correlate each one with a number and draw a number at random every day to provide you guys with a free either tutorial or written pattern on a blog post to either make a square or applique that you could use in a blanket or any other fall or Halloween themed project, which that is what our other ladies did. So Nova over at Nova Gnome Creations, one of our other little yarny friends and sisters, she decided to do the squares, but she decided to make wearables, and not just one wearable. She's making multiples for herself and some near and dear littles in her life. She was doing a video update about once a weekish, but she has had a lot of life transitions going on. So she kind of updates when she can. And the big reveal for those projects will be during her 13 days of Halloween, which, by the way, 13 days of Halloween starts Sunday. Yes. And then we have our yarny friend and sister Patricia over at the Yarny Cat Crochet, who decided to go an entirely different direction. She started off making a crossbody bag for the fall and Halloween season while she's out and about doing those fall festivities. Then she turned around and surprised us and made a matching scarf. And then she turned around and surprised us and went an entirely different direction and made an amigurumi. And I do believe she is working on something else. She doesn't tell us what she's doing. We find out, like you guys, when she drops a video. And that is super cool. We always look forward to that. So basically, you don't have to be making a blanket. You can be making anything fall and Halloween themed because Rainey pretty much has said that CAL is not just crochet along, it is craft along. And if you guys have been making anything fall or Halloween themed, she wants you to send pictures because there's a merit badge involved. So get those over there. Her information is linked in the description box as always. And so are my other yarny friends and sisters. And if you really haven't gone and checked them out, please do. You will love them just as much as I do. So back to Rainey and her brilliant idea. So she has been drawing those different patterns for appliques, blocks, etc., at random every day, except for Saturdays and Sundays when she has to work. You get a three for her on Fridays. Um, so that she can provide those with you so you can make whatever you want with them. If at all, you can make whatever you want. She just gives you inspiration, which she has given me inspiration, and she's given me challenges. So I decided to go a different route. Yes, I have made some of the blocks, including a challenge one she gave me that will be used for my 100th block. And I showed that block yesterday. I did decide I was not going to put it in the boo box of fate to be drawn at random. She wanted it to be my 100th block, my final block, and that is what we are going to do. So I decided rather than do all the appliques the way she was going in order, because she's not using them all either, um, because her blanket has taken on a whole life of its own. And if you don't know what that means, please go check her out. I love what has happened with her blanket. It is so fun. I decided because I had made a lot of blank blocks at the very beginning due to carrying yarn with me to appointments and stuff. And I had a whole stack ready to go. I had almost all of my blocks done. They just needed appliques, etc. And I decided to start drawing them at random. And then you guys were guessing, giving suggestions, inspiration. And I have taken some of those as clues and put them in my blocks. I've also made a very long list that I'm still perusing and going on because we still have 13 more days after today for blocks. Technically 12 because we did our 100th one due to Rainey's challenge. So 12 more blocks. But I've also taken inspiration, like I said, from Ranee. I've taken inspiration from Nova and her pattern tutorial that she dropped just for this make along. I've taken inspiration from Patricia. I've taken inspiration from out in the wilds on TV, things I've seen, just all over the place. Let creativity flow and do whatever. The only thing that's random basically is my blocks, and then we have to figure out what to do with it in 24 hours. So we've already done blocks, and I'm counting mine in groups of 10 and doing a video recap every 10 we do before I feed it into my blanket. And now we are currently, because we have finished all the groups of 10, 1 through 80, and we started with, we are now working on 81 through 90. So let's do a little recap and get to today's block, which I think is super cool. I'm so proud of it. Um, and see where we're at. And then we will draw from the Boo Box of Fate and see what square we are working with tomorrow. And we will go from there. So for day 81, we drew at random from our Boo Box. We drew this Red Heart Super Saver in Jumbo Stripes, the Brights square. And we have, as of late, been leaving several of these blank, these ones right here, because I do have some appliques that are made up that are way too large for just one square. They're going to have to go on two. So we're going to try and strategically place some of these so we can use those because I took the time to make them and I want to be able to put them in the blanket somehow, some way. And then if we don't end up using some of these for those larger ones and I still have appliques left in my boo box, I'm going to put them on some of these squares at the end. So we will go over that when that happens. So that was day 81. And then day 82 square that we drew at random was sparkly black. And since we had done a scarecrow girl way back at the beginning, I decided I was going to do a scarecrow boy because you guys keep bringing him up. And I started working on it. And then I got a text from my uncle, and he had this idea. He wanted to see a pumpkin headed scarecrow. So I nixed what I was doing and started working on the pumpkin head scarecrow. And it wasn't coming out right when I was putting it together. So I kind of nixed the scarecrow part. And we just ended up with a witchy jack-o'-lantern. And I think he's cute. He's not like any of the ones we had done before with pumpkins. And I kind of like his little, I told you so smirk. So we just left him as is. And then for day 83, we had drawn this slime green square. And I couldn't figure out what to put on it at first. And I started rummaging through my little cardboard box. I still keep forgetting to bring it in here and show you guys. But I have a bunch of appliques in there that are either too large to use yet. Some of them are finished and just waiting for a square because I was inspired. And then some of them are partially done because I had inspiration and just started working on other things. Well, this one was a finished one. I just needed to sew it all together. It was in 5 parts. And so I put it on the square and I was like, but it looks too plain. So I quickly had to pivot and try and find something to go with it. And I had used the pattern for the squirrel was from Maria's Blue Crayon. And so I had to find online a pattern for as small of an acorn as I possibly could. And I ended up finding this little pattern called the mini acorn applique. And I just made 2 of them. One the squirrel's holding, and then the other one's right here. And that was by Itchin' for Some Stitchin'. And all of the information for the squares, if there's a pattern or tutorial, is linked in the description box. So that was day 83. And then day 84 square that we drew was like this neon electric blue. And I ended up taking inspiration, a suggestion from one of you guys that they wanted to see, and that was from Sharon Sutcliffe. I had been doing these little ghosty crew that were dressed like little trick or treaters. The first one we did was, and I just dropped my square. We did the Franken ghosty. Um, it was a pattern by the Caffeinated Snail for a ghost banner. And there was 5 different ones. We did the Franken ghosty, then we did the pumpkin ghosty, then we did the witch ghosty, and the last one we had put on the blanket was a vampire ghosty. And we have another one, the last one of the set of 5 waiting in the wings to go on a square by the end. And that one is a pirate ghosty. Well, Sharon wanted me to do a ghosty cat. So I used the same body pattern for the ghost. I just freehanded a little tail and ears, put whiskers and the little safety eyes because, of course, it's a black kitty. Of course, it had to be. So we put that on day 84 square. And then for day 85, we drew at random another Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes, but this one was in neons. And we're leaving this one as is, like the brights, because I want to see which of these extra large appliques can go on these squares where we can put like ones together so they can fit. And then if this is one of the squares that doesn't end up with an extra large applique, I will figure out something else to put on it to make it fun. So there was that one. And then day 86, we did another Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes in the brights. And this was yesterday's square. And I opted to leave this one blank so I could try and fill it in with one that's similar for one of those extra large appliques. So we're going to leave it blank for now and see what we can do with it. And like I said, if later on we don't end up using it for one of the larger ones, we will find something to put on it. And then I will show you guys once it's implemented into the blanket. So that was yesterday for day 86. And then for today's square, last night we drew out a dark purple. Oops. And you could see some stitching, a very dark purple. And I kind of sat and pondered and pondered and pondered. And then I got a phone call from a relative last night and was on the phone very late and was still trying to figure out what to put on it last night. And I did finally get to start working on it. And let's see what you guys suggested that we put on it. Put up comments. Okay, so Sam from Memphis Makes said, "Hi, Missy. For the purple square, I think you need to add Harry Potter to go with Dobby. I agree. I wonder if I could find a free Harry Potter. Because that would be quite a bit of freehanding if I have to try and figure him out myself. Love that you did the challenge that Ranee set. I think it should be block 100 just to bring the project full circle to Rainey's idea. Can't wait to see your pumpkins." And I so totally agree. And that was why I decided, I was sitting there thinking about it after I did yesterday's video. And I was like, nope, it's not going in the boo box. We are going to use that one for block 100. And I should have brought it in here. I had taken it back out there because I had taken pictures of it to send to Ranee, and I didn't bring it back in to put on my desk. And I did bring some pumpkins in. I've got 3 of them done. I'm not sure I like the ribbons. And I do have a 4th one that's almost done out there. I think I need 2 more rows and then sew it and cinch it and then add the ribbon to it. And then that one will be done tonight as well. So that would be number 4. So I'll show you the 3 I have in here in just a second. And then we have Patricia from the Yarny Cat Crochet said, "Hey, Missy, I love your shirt." Oh, my kitty cat shirt I had yesterday that said, "Don't cross me." My little witch kitty. I loved it. Absolutely love the kitty ghosty. I'm plumb out of ideas for purple. So maybe a viewer suggestion. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And then she said, "Love the kitty square." So meaning the one Rainey challenged me. I did too. I like how it turned out once I finally figured out how to get it the right size. And then Laura said, "I made kitty curtains. Love that square." Oh, so I'm assuming you made curtains with that same stacked kitty pattern. That is so cool. I didn't even, I may, oh, Laura, you are giving me inspiration. I like that idea. I may have to do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have pictures of the kitty curtains, I want to see them. And then Ellen said, "Just adorable. I made a kitty blanket a few years ago for my Halloween obsessed daughter." So you've used it too. Oops. So that's cool. I would love to see that too. Ellen, my troublemaking evil twin out there, what colors did you use for the blanket for your daughter? I would love to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And then Amy from Hooked on Wishing is basically saying hello, always with the coffee cup and the ball of yarn. Hi, Amy. And then Rainey at the Woolly Llama Shop said, "And you got a cool dishcloth out of the deal." Yes, I did. Because if you didn't see yesterday's video, she challenged me to a square, which was actually a dishcloth pattern. I made the dishcloth first to see what size it was going to end up so I could try and figure out how I was going to manipulate the pattern to be able to make it the right size square to be 6" by 6" for my blanket. And I did get a cool dishcloth, and it's hanging in my kitchen by the sink right now. And I love it. Thank you. And then she also says, "Have you done Oogie Boogie or Zero yet? To go with Jack and Sally. Nice work on the Easy Cat Square." Thank you. And yes, I've done Zero. Zero is actually on the blanket. Um, right there. Um, and Oogie Boogie happens to be, and I'm going to give it away. Oogie Boogie happens to be sitting in my cardboard box because he ended up being too big for one square. So he is one of them I am trying to find a home for by strategically placing squares so that he will fit. So he will be going into the blanket. I just don't know where he's going to be. And once I get him on there, I will show you guys. And that was all of the comments and suggestions. So, as far as what I put on today's square, I've implemented some Nightmare Before Christmas. We have Dobby from Harry Potter, and I'm going to try and add some more Harry Potter kind of stuff. But I do also have a very favorite movie that I love to watch. And if you know me, you're probably going to know what it is. And I have to watch it. I mean, I own the CD, but I will still watch it every time I find it on satellite if it's playing, and I will watch it 10 times back to back to back to back. I love this movie. It is one of my all-time favorites. And the movie is, well, let me read you the saying and see if you can figure out what I put on the square, and then you will understand the square and probably know what the movie is. So the saying that goes along with my square is, there are some things I know for certain. Always throw spilt salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Plant lavender for luck and fall in love whenever you can. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to put your guess in the comment section for what movie you think that is from. So on your mark, get set, go. Okay. So, quote here again, there are some things I know for certain. Always throw spilt salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Plant lavender for luck and fall in love whenever you can. So, what did I put on my purple square? And what movie is it from? Salt shaker, rosemary, lavender, and the heart for fall in love. And the movie is da, 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 Practical Magic. There we go. So I put the salt, the rosemary, the lavender, and the heart for falling in love. All four of them on my square. And there is no pattern online. I just found like drawings and things like that. And so I just kind of tried to figure out, the basic shape of a salt shaker, and did the top for it. And then I just embroidered some lavender, some rosemary, and then the heart for the love. And that was how I implemented my favorite movie, Practical Magic. It's been on my list of wanting to do. I just was kind of waiting for a square, and I thought that this one was perfect. So there we go. That is day 87. So without further ado, let's draw from the Boo Box of Fate and see what square we're doing tomorrow for day 88 already. Can't believe it. Okay. Oh, okay. We are doing orange. And this is a bright orange. Very bright orange. I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think we should put on this orange one? We definitely know it's not going to be pumpkins because they're just going to get buried. So this is going to be for day 88. Okay. So there's tomorrow's square. Let me close that down on my phone. And let's show you the pumpkins. I am actually using the pattern by Brianna Kay. And if you have seen Sam over at Memphis Makes videos, she has been making a whole pumpkin patch because she is making them to gift to colleagues at work. And I had the pattern. I just hadn't done anything with it. And I make pumpkins every year for whatever reason, either to decorate, I end up giving some away, stuff like that. I've left a couple in town over the last couple years as like a little hide and seek find thing, surprise, random act of kindness. Um, so I decided to make some pumpkins. And that way, like when Brian and I go out to eat, we can leave one on the table for our server or just gift it to her. That way, nothing happens to it and she can do what she needs to. And so I started making some of the pumpkins because, I mean, time's ticking, even though I do leave them out till Thanksgiving. So let's look at my pumpkins. So I did this one right here. And these are the wheat stitch pumpkins that you can stack. This is a smaller one. And I used, is it burnt pumpkin for the 2 rows with the wheat stitch. And then the in between 2 rows, in between the wheat stitches, is the cinnamon cedar from I Love This Yarn. And I didn't bring those in here. They're in there in my little basket of skeins of yarn I'm using. And I think it turned out super cute. And I put a little, it's got the little burlap bow with sparkly edges in the cinnamon stack right there. So that's number one. And then I did, this one was actually the first one I did. And this one is the in between rows is Desert Glaze from Hobby Lobby. I Love This Yarn. And then the wheat stitches are done in the Orange Burst. And I like how that one turned out with all the different colors in the wheat stitch. And I just put like this, it's a deep reddish burgundy kind of shiny bow on there. So there's that one. And then, of course, you guys know I had to do this. I had to do it. You guys know I love this yarn right here. The Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes and Brights, because I'm using it to put all the squares together in my blanket. My blanket has all of those colors all over in it. So I had to do a pumpkin in it. And I like how it turned out. And I put a sparkly um, little bow on it that's orange. I just like how the colors flowed. It's so cool. Some of them I wish they would have transitioned before the wheat stitch, but hey, but I really like it. I think it turned out super cool. Very pretty, very bright. And if you guys know me, you know, I've even made rainbow pumpkins, pastel rainbow pumpkins, aqua pumpkins, turquoise pumpkins with rainbow leaves and all of that stuff. So I always have to do some of the off the wall bright colors, and I like it. So there we go. I'm not sure about my ribbons. We'll just have to see. But yeah. So this one was done in the brights. And it's so pretty. So pretty. And the other one I'm working on right now that's still in the living room. Like I said, I think I only need 2 more rows of the wheat stitch. And then sew the end together and then cinch it all, stuff it, and all of that. And I'm using, I think I'm using, I love this yarn Kaleidoscope, because I don't think it's that Orange Burst. I think it's Kaleidoscope, a different multicolored one. And then I think I'm using the Desert Glaze and the Burnt Pumpkin for in between, if I remember correctly. I haven't touched it all today. We've been gone all day. So yeah, there was my pumpkins that we did. And they make up so super fast, and I think they're going to be so fun. I wish that I would have remembered to take one with me today, but I wouldn't have had it to show you guys, because we ended up going to a new to us restaurant, because we had to go over and take care of some household shopping and stuff like that. And it was a restaurant that was recommended by my cousin's daughter that actually called me last night, and I was on the phone with till late. And so we decided to go there for a late lunch. And I wish I would have had one with me to give to the girl that was our server, because she was awesome. Everybody in there was so friendly, and the food was delicious. We couldn't even eat it all. We had to bring leftovers home. So, yeah. So there's that. And yeah, tomorrow's square, day 87, day 88. Sorry. What do you guys think I should put on this fluorescent orange? And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. This is almost 30 minutes. And I will see you back tomorrow for day 88 square. And yeah, I hope you're having a great Friday night. I hope you do something fun. Get some crochet and craft time. And I hope to see you back tomorrow. So, with that, guys, I love you bunches. And just remember, life is not perfect. So, be kind. Try and create something new every day and keep reaching for the stars and your yarn. So, till next time, guys. Bye for now.